I hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, fam? It's Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst, back at you with that uncut, raw, rugged realness, because uncut and authentic is the only way I'm going to give it to you. What? No narratives. We ain't doing all that. We're here to talk about the facts and talk about some boxing, but we got to talk about the news today from BLK Prime about billions. Adrien Broner, Mr. Can Man, the hottest ticket coming out of Cincinnati, Ohio at the present moment, was the latest announcement from BLK Prime. It was fascinating, y'all. Let me tell you how this broke down. I'm at work, thinking nothing of it. I'm online on Twitter. There's big buzz about a huge announcement being dropped by Blue Blood. Now, Blue Blood went on a Twitter space recently, and he said that he was one of the main people that helped orchestrate this big deal with Terrence Crawford doing his fight with, goodness, why am I forgetting his name? David Avanesyan, and pretty much liquidating the Spence Crawford fights for the time being on this new player in the game for streaming services, BLK Prime. Now, for those of you not in the know, as was I, BLK Prime is the pay-per-view streaming platform with which they air the pay-per-view events for Street Beef, the YouTube content creator that has about like 3 million followers or something like that. I'm not really sure, but they do the little backyard brawling stuff for people with minimal boxing skills or little to no experience. I think they have recently started to move up to try to get more experienced people up on there. I don't really know how it works. It's mostly like smoker fights in backyards. Low budget stuff. Drink. And anyways, today they did this big press conference thing on Blue Blood's channel, and it was like a plain chair with the plastic logo wrap with BLK Prime behind, and we had to wait for 1,000 likes before the great media rollout occurred, and lo and behold, the big announcement of the day. Adrien Broner, the Can Man, is joining BLK Prime. And check out the details of this. Apparently, it's going to be for upwards of 3 fights for a 1-year contract, upwards of 3 fights, 8 figures, or $10 million, essentially. So, Adrien Broner, one of my favorite fighters. Mind you, Adrien Broner is that dude. I didn't recently start giving up on Adrien Broner until this most recent fight where he pulled out with Omar Figueroa. But how do you not like Adrien Broner? Mr. Gang Gang. You ain't gang gang. You saw me beat that boy. I slept with your girl, Mr. Adrien Broner. Man, hilarious. Comedy ensued. And the way the boxing world reacted to it, the memes were going up left and right. I seen somebody take that background from BLK Prime and put Canelo in the chair using Photoshop. I saw one with Barney in the chair in Photoshop. I saw one with a buff, steroid-injected Conor Benn in that chair. I saw one that just had the chair with that BLK Prime plastic logo in the back, and somebody said Gervonta Davis was in that chair, but he erased the image of himself. It gets no better, folks. This BLK Prime thing has shooketh the boxing world. Can you imagine a future boxing landscape where the new players in the game are Jake Paul's promotion company, BLK Prime, and Marv Nation? It's fascinating. We get some new players in the game. BLK Prime's parent company is EFC Ellington Financial. Their net worth is something right now, $0.74 billion or $740 million. That is the company that gave the seed funding to this company. And, you know, it's just a fascinating change of events. I don't know why it is a company would want to get into boxing, because it is such a tough business to navigate and a tough business to make money in. There is a reason why, as long as boxing has been an established staple of American sports, there have not been a lot of large name promoters. I mean, you got old school guys like Doc Kearns and stuff like that. Don King, of course. More recently, we've got old school Bob Arum. Don King just barely faded out of the game with his most recent debacle of a fight, wherever that weird whack fight was that involved those cruiserweights, Ilunga Makabu and the other dude that he fought whose name I can't remember. But there's a reason why there's always very few promoters in this boxing game, because it's very hard to turn over a positive coin and to keep your books in the black. So we saw what happened with Triller. Triller came in. They were throwing money left and right. They got that insane purse bid for the Teofimo Lopez fight with George Kambosos Jr. And then it all collapsed. But there isn't a lot of big promoters in the game, but it's fascinating with the way social media has exploded and has put promotional power more into individuals' hands. So now you've got Marv Nation, who just recently acquired the Regis Prograis Jose Zepeda title eliminator fight, which I believe is going to be on pay-per-view on Fight TV. Everyone's eagerly waiting what that pay-per-view price selling point is going to be on that. Well, now we've got BLK Prime with Adrien Broner. Gang, gang. All day. You ain't gang, gang, homie. You saw me beat that boy anyways. Adrien Broner is now on BLK Prime. I guess we can look forward to him possibly being an undercard on that fight with Terrence Bud Crawford, although I'm highly skeptical that happens because, in theory, that fight between Avedikian and Crawford is supposed to go down on December 10th. There's so many questions I have about that whole event altogether. In theory, Terrence Crawford supposedly signed a deal for that fight on December 10th for 8 figures, $10 million. How does that even work? How are they going to pay everyone else on the fight card? How are they going to pay David Avedikian? Even if he sells out that arena in Omaha, Nebraska, that might clear $1.2, $1.5 million. Where does the rest of the funding come from? Are they really going to charge that much money on a BLK Prime app? It's fascinating. I don't know. I'm not a finances guy, even though I am a pharmaceutical engineer and a math tutor. I choose not to dive too in-depth into the finances of it because I don't want to know. There's also conspiracies out there that say that maybe it's Daniel Kinahan fronting up money. Dude, it's amazing what's going on with this BLK Prime thing. Anyways, that was the latest news on the front for BLK Prime. Water. Can we talk about some boxing, y'all? I want to talk about some real boxing. All these rumors and stuff. We just had the recent rumor explosion with Tank and Ryan Garcia, the stuff with BLK Prime. Let's talk about the return of Vasyl Lomachenko, high tech. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. I don't really understand the people that don't like Vasyl Lomachenko. I don't believe that they sincerely hate Lomachenko. They hate his rabid fan bases. And I understand. Listen, I love Floyd Mayweather Jr. I love Canelo Alvarez. I rock with Oscar De La Hoya. I do not like most of their fans. I'm Filipino, so you already know I'm rocking with Manny Pacquiao. But guess what? Some of these fans are out of control. Boxing community, I urge you, enjoy these great talented fighters while they're here. Give them their flowers now. Don't be so apprehensive to give a fighter their flowers just because you don't like their fan base, just because you bumped heads with somebody online or possibly in a barbershop, or even, Lord help you, had an argument with somebody in an actual fight event about a fighter. Don't hold a fighter to the wall just because their fans suck. Don't be mad at Canelo just because you don't like Canelo's fans. Don't be mad at Floyd Mayweather just because you don't like their fans. Appreciate the fighters while they're here. Throw Lomachenko in that same boat. His fans are the same way. Some of them are irritating as hell. That doesn't take away from the fact that Vasyl Lomachenko is immensely talented. And Vasyl Lomachenko is going to be fighting this weekend. It's his first fight in almost a year. The last time he fought was, goodness, did I write it down here? Oh, over 320 days as of today. And then he's going up against a much younger guy in the form of Jamaine Ortiz. Blue chip prospect. Now, check it out, their records. So, Vasyl Lomachenko is 16-2-0 with 11 knockouts. Mind you, he won titles in, if I'm not mistaken, 4 divisions. I think it's 4 divisions. And then you got Jamaine Ortiz, who is 16-0-1 with 8 knockouts. He has yet to win a championship. Lomachenko, orthodox, amazing footwork, crazy hand-eye coordination that made him famous. He forced Nicholas Walters and Guillermo Rigondeaux to retire on the stool, which is monumental. Put them ungodly hands on Gary Russell Jr. Vasyl Lomachenko is really an undeniable talent. I'm not even going to try to repeat that. If you don't like Vasyl Lomachenko, then you probably don't like boxing. You like boxers. You like fighters. You're a fan of promotional platforms. And that's your itinerary. Cool. Like what you want. I say, hey, people that are immensely talented, men and women fighters, if they're good and they're entertaining, give them their flowers while they're here. I'm just saying. Simple, right? Jamaine Ortiz, if you've been following my content on YouTube and on TikTok, I interviewed Jamaine Ortiz in the build-up to the most recent fight he had with Jamel Herring, the former champion. And pop my collar. I was the one who broke the news on social media about Jamaine Ortiz fighting Jamel Herring. It was during the interview he broke the news. On that same day was the day that his team agreed to that fight with Jamel Herring. That was Jamel Herring's last fight. I guess by most accounts you could say Jamaine Ortiz retired Jamel Herring. I don't want to go that far because Jamel Herring is the man. Semper Fi, much respect to that guy, because Jamel Herring is one of those guys that's really hard to not like. And, he's an orthodox fighter. But Jamaine Ortiz is capable of competently switching. He can switch southpaw and orthodox. He is freakishly athletic. He has excellent footwork. I wouldn't say he is as technically adept or as smooth with his transitions in that intricate footwork movement as Vasyl Lomachenko, but he is younger. And I would even venture to say he is more athletic than Vasyl Lomachenko. The thing about Vasyl Lomachenko and his style, it isn't like a Bernard Hopkins type of style. Vasyl Lomachenko's style is predicated on him being youthful and having those good, strong legs to work with. Will this be the fight where we see Vasyl Lomachenko turn 34 years old? He's 34 years old. Is this the fight where we see Vasyl Lomachenko turn 34 years old in front of us? Or does Vasyl Lomachenko tear through Jamaine Ortiz just like he did Nakatani? Does he put a one-sided whooping on him like he did to Richard Comey? We're going to find out soon enough. I like Jamaine Ortiz. Jamaine Ortiz is nice. He is a live dog in this fight. This is not a cherry pick. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Jamaine Ortiz was an amateur standout. Comes from out of there in the Northeast. I want to say Connecticut. Somewhere up in the far Northeast. But he was an amateur at the same time as Abraham Nava and Teofimo Lopez. Just kind of got off to a bit of a slower start because he didn't have major promotional entities behind him when he was first building up his career. It's a good fight, and I don't really know what my guesstimate is on that fight. I think I'm a bit biased in Jamaine Ortiz's favor, so I don't want to make a prediction. Jamaine Ortiz is the homie. Lomachenko is a legend. I'm just going to enjoy the fight. May the best man win. Sorry, y'all, I can't give a prediction on that one. Don't hold it against me. It's got a lot of excellent undercards on that fight. You got to love Top Rank. Top Rank, without a doubt, has the best prospects in the game. They took all of the top guys from that recent 2020 Tokyo Olympic run from USA Boxing and pretty much picked them up. Keyshawn Davis, Troy Isley, Richard Torres, Duke Reagan. So on this card with Vasyl Lomachenko and Jamaine Ortiz, some of the more outstanding cards, of course, you've got Duke Reagan. He's fighting Luis Lebron, who just got done with a fight with Henry Lebron. It was a Puerto Rico versus Puerto Rico fight. It was a great fight. Henry Lebron is a sturdy dude, kind of a really, cookie cutter pressure fighter that comes forward. Duke Reagan is more a three-dimensional technical boxer, but Duke Reagan in his most recent fight was, I watched that one. It was against D'Angelo Fuentes, another Puerto Rican, oddly enough. And he definitely had some spots in that fight where he was having problems with Fuentes. And Duke Reagan, it would appear, does not have a lot of pop in his hands. He's not a heavy-handed puncher. You don't need to be a heavy-handed puncher in order to win championships and to be a great, a la Pernell Whitaker, currently where Devin Haney is at. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Duke Reagan can make in this upcoming fight against Luis Lebron. Clearly, Top Rank is not giving him any easy touches because Luis Lebron is 18-4-1. He's an established journeyman, so it's going to be a great test. Can Duke Reagan shake off the criticisms that he probably saw online for his recent performance against D'Angelo Fuentes and show us something really good against Luis Lebron? We're going to find out soon enough. Troy Isley, he's going to be fighting Quincy Levais. Quincy is 14-3-1. Troy Isley is 7-0-0. Troy Isley, another one of those amateur standouts that went to the Olympics. He's from Cincinnati, oddly enough, just like the man I talked about earlier about Billions. Troy Isley is such a fun prospect to watch. Very heavy-handed, very technically and fundamentally sound. You're going to want to keep an eye out for Troy Isley. When you got power like that and good skills, you can put it all together, you're in for a good a fighter with an interesting ceiling or potential to have a high ceiling. Pardon me. My mouth is dry. Richard Torres Jr., 3-0-0. Heavyweight, I want to say he got the silver medal or the bronze medal. I think the silver medal. He is fighting Ahmad Hefney. Richard Torres is fun. Kind of reminds me of Smoking Joe Frazier. Great motor, ducks down a lot, digs into you with high output, heavy hands with the hooks. I'm eager to see that fight. Abdullah Mason against Angel Barrera. I'm going to be honest, I don't know who Angel Barrera is, and I haven't done my homework on him. Abdullah Mason is the truth. Just take my word on that. Watch this guy, Abdullah Mason. He is a fun guy to watch. He's 4-0 right now. Excellent, excellent fighter with a very high ceiling. I believe Abdullah Mason is the truth, much like Troy Isley. Nico Ali Walsh. It's Nico Ali Walsh. Oh, Robeisy Ramirez. That's going to be an interesting one. Robeisy Ramirez was supposed to fight Jesse Magdaleno. Jesse Magdaleno had to pull out because of an injury. His replacement is going to be Jose Matias Romero from Argentina. Robeisy Ramirez, 10-1-0, was the Olympic gold medalist that pretty much beat everybody and their mom in the amateurs, including Shakur Stevenson, if I'm not mistaken, Mark Castro, like all those guys. I could be wrong about Mark Castro, but I'm pretty sure he beat Shakur in the amateurs. Robeisy's nice, an Olympic gold medalist. He lost his professional debut, but got it back against the same opponent and got that win afterwards. He seems to be sitting down more in his punches, as was evidenced by his recent fight, his stunning highlight reel knockout over Abraham Nava. So it looks like he's more focused on not being a technical boxer and taking on more puncher features. So it's going to be fun to see how Robeisy Ramirez does against Jose Matias Romero. Argentina, big salute out to the legendary fighters from Argentina like Carlos Monzon or Nicolino Loche. More recently, Marcos Maidana, Sergio Martinez, even Jermel Charlo and Brian Castano. He was from Argentina. Argentinians are tough. They come with it. Jose Matias Romero is a seasoned journeyman in the game. 26-2-0. His only two losses come at the hands of Michel Rivera and Isaac Cruz. And he went the whole distance with both of them. So he's a tough outing. He's a very awkward mover, very cagey fighter. So I want to see how Robeisy Ramirez does in that. But anyways, folks, I'm going to end the video on that one. Check out that fight this weekend. They're fighting in a small room out there at Madison Square Garden. How do you think? Vasyl Lomachenko and Jamaine Ortiz plays out? Let me know in the comment section, y'all. Let's chop this up. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. I hope you're already following. This is Hot Boxing Minute, the future of boxing analysis on YouTube and TikTok. Peace.